There are moments in life when, even surrounded by noise, we feel a strange silence inside. It's as if something is missing, as if a part of us was left behind somewhere along the way. You might even be living what society calls success, a good job, bills paid, commitments in order, and yet still feel an emptiness you can't explain. That emptiness is not a flaw. It's not a sign of weakness, it's a calling for something greater, an invitation to wake up from a deep sleep. In the beginning, that inner voice is subtle. It's like a whisper that only appears when everything is quiet, maybe late at night when you're about to fall asleep. But if you keep ignoring it, it grows louder, and the day comes when it's impossible to silence. That's the moment you realize you can no longer live on autopilot. Life is asking something from you, the courage to change. Ascension is not a ladder to the sky, nor a mystical fantasy out of human reach. It's a movement inward. It's diving deep into your own soul and discovering what has always been there, hidden behind fears, limiting beliefs, and distractions. But this dive is not easy. It demands letting go. It demands that you stop searching outside for what can only be found within. And above all, it demands honesty with yourself. Inner change is like removing armor you've worn for years. At first you feel vulnerable, unprotected, but little by little, you realize that armor was also keeping you from feeling, from truly living. This is the first step of ascension, recognizing there is more. Something you may not yet know how to explain, but you can feel it calling you. And in that moment, a question begins to echo inside you. Am I ready to pay the price for my own freedom? Freedom, a beautiful word, but one that carries a weight few are willing to bear. When we speak of inner freedom, we're talking about letting go of everything that chains us from the inside. Old guilt, stored up anger, paralyzing fears, the need for others' approval. And that's the price, giving up what no longer serves you. The problem is, what no longer serves is often exactly what we know best. Old habits, people who keep us stuck in the same cycles, places where we feel safe, but that in truth only keep us stagnant. The first shock of this journey is realizing that not everyone will walk it with you. Some will drift away because they don't understand your change. Others, because your transformation will expose what they themselves are not ready to face. That hurts, but that pain is part of the process. It's as if life is clearing the ground so something new can grow. When we release the old, we step into the unknown. And the unknown is frightening. It's dark at first, but it's in that darkness where real growth happens. Think of a seed. Before it sprouts, it is buried in the dark, surrounded by cold soil. It seems like nothing is happening, but inside everything is changing. It's the same with you. The discomfort you feel is not a sign you're lost, it's a sign you're germinating. Here's a truth few people understand. Higher vibrations are not reached by just thinking positive. That's shallow. To truly rise, you must cleanse the heart and mind. You must forgive, and that's not for the weak. You must release. You must allow old pain to turn into wisdom. The pain of healing is different from the pain of the wound. The first sets you free. The second keeps you trapped. And once you understand this, something shifts. You stop fearing pain, because you realize that on the other side of it, something is waiting for you. Awakening rarely comes like a sudden lightning strike. Most of the time it comes in waves, each wave bringing a new awareness. One day you wake up and notice things around you feel different, not because the world has changed, but because your eyes have. The sky looks more alive. The trees seem to hold a quiet presence, and even the silence between words starts to carry meaning. You begin to notice details you once ignored. The way the wind brushes your face, how the light falls through the window, the distant hum of life happening outside. At the same time, you feel the emptiness of shallow conversations. What once distracted you now feels meaningless. You start craving depth in people, in experiences, even in the simplest moments of the day. This is one of the first signs of ascension. The thirst for connections that nourish rather than just fill space. Gradually, you notice something else. The world seems to mirror what you carry inside. If there is fear, the world feels threatening. If there is gratitude, doors open where there once were walls. Inner change shifts your frequency, and that influences how you see and interact with life. For it's not childish magic, it's the simple power of focus and emotional energy. What you feed grows, what you ignore fades. But here's something people rarely mention about spiritual awakening. When light comes in, it illuminates not only the beauty, but also the shadows. These shadows are parts of you that were hidden, asleep, waiting for the right moment to be faced. And at this point you realize that ascension isn't just about feeling good. It's also about confronting what's been buried. And that's where most people give up. Because facing your own shadows is like opening a dark room where you've stored everything you didn't want to deal with. Yet it's exactly there where the key to true transformation lies. Shadows are not monsters lurking outside. They are not hiding in alleys or behind doors. They live within us, unhealed wounds, traumas we pretend to forget, insecurities that hold us back, anger disguised with a smile. Facing the shadows is an act of courage few dare to take, because when you look at them directly, you must admit they are part of you, and that hurts. But here's the truth. Ignoring shadows doesn't erase them. On the contrary, they keep operating silently, influencing your decisions, your reactions, your way of seeing the world. Confronting them is like cleaning out an old house. First you stir up the dust, find broken objects, smell the mustiness. It's uncomfortable, but as you clean, the air starts to flow, light comes in, and you even discover valuable things hidden at the back of a drawer. Shadows also hide treasures, lessons, strength, wisdom. When you integrate them, you're no longer their prisoner. You use them as fuel for growth. This doesn't mean the darkness disappears completely. It means you learn to walk with it without being swallowed by it. You acknowledge it as part of your story, but not as your destiny. And here's the liberating truth many discover at this stage. It's not about destroying darkness, it's about transforming it. Using pain as a bridge, fear as a warning, even anger as the spark to take action, as long as it's guided by awareness. And when that transformation begins, you notice something profound. Your energy rises, your vision sharpens, and life starts responding in ways you've never seen before. Transformation is not a single day when everything changes. It's a silent process, built from choices repeated daily. One day you realize you no longer react the same way to certain situations. Someone provokes you, and you choose silence over war. Bad news arrives and you take a deep breath before panic sets in. Small gestures, but they reveal that the change has already taken root. You understand that transforming yourself doesn't mean becoming someone else. It means returning to who you truly are, to that essence that has always been there, buried under layers of fear, pride, haste, and obligations. Your vibration begins to rise not because life is now perfect, but because you've stopped fighting what you can't control. You invest your energy only in what you can nurture, your peace, your true relationships, your purpose. This new posture draws different things to you, more aligned people, more constructive situations. Not because the magical universe decided to reward you, but because you are vibrating in harmony with the life you want to live. And slowly you notice you're no longer chasing life. You're walking with it step by step at the right pace. And in this alignment, the final stage begins, building your new life, not perfect but real. The new life is not a fairy tale. It doesn't erase challenges or guarantee sunny days forever, but it brings something far more valuable, inner peace. In the new life, you learn to walk through storms without drowning in them. You understand that happiness is not constant euphoria, but a state of presence and gratitude. That living in higher vibrations is not about always smiling, but about keeping your heart open even when the day is gray. The connections you cultivate now hold deeper meaning. You speak less, but you listen more. You realize that simple moments, shared with the right people, are worth more than any achievement the world can applaud. This is true ascension, not leaving the world but being fully in it, more conscious, more complete. It's not about avoiding problems, but about facing them without losing your center. And perhaps most importantly, you understand that the journey never ends, because each day brings new opportunities to climb one more step. Sometimes the steps are gentle, other times steep, but each one takes you closer to your best self. And when you look back, you realize something amazing. That quiet voice that once called you was right all along. As you move forward on your journey of ascension, you begin to realize that the greatest battles are not fought against the outside world, but within yourself. They are the old patterns that try to pull you back like invisible chains. They are the inner voices whispering that you are not enough, that the road is too long, that maybe it's better to give up. But in that moment you understand. True ascension is not about never hearing those voices, but about not letting them decide your destiny. You acknowledge them, take a deep breath, and choose to move on. Every step you take, no matter how small, is a victory over yourself. The world around you begins to respond to your new energy. People, places, and opportunities that once seemed far away start coming closer. Not because life has suddenly become easier, but because you have become someone capable of sustaining a higher vibration, and that frequency attracts what is aligned with it. Silence becomes a friend. Solitude stops being a burden and transforms into a sacred space where you reconnect with your essence. You realize that you no longer need to lose yourself in noise to feel alive. Your own presence is enough to nourish your soul. And in moments of deep peace, an understanding emerges. Ascension is not a final destination, but a way of living. It is choosing every day to climb one more step, even when no one is watching. It is walking in faith when the ground seems to disappear beneath your feet. It is trusting that every challenge is an invitation to become stronger, wiser, and more whole. You begin to give thanks for what once seemed like loss. You see that every closed door was actually redirecting you to something better, that every fall was a push to make you look within, that every tear was water nurturing the seeds of your transformation. And then you realize that your light is already changing the environment around you. Without even noticing, you inspire others simply by being who you are. Your presence becomes a living reminder that it is possible to rebuild, to rise, and to create a life with purpose. But the journey continues, and the next step will challenge everything you believe about yourself.